Hi guys. Okay, so long time no see in terms of, I guess, like bookish videos. I know I've done, I don't know if it was a haul or a wrap up or something like a long time ago. I think it was like a recent reads, but that was like over a year ago. So I wanted to do a little bit more in terms of bookish content here on this channel. I have a book haul today. In terms of this book haul, I was originally not going to because I was kind of like on a book buying ban, but once you start buying books again, it just opens the whole floodgates and you end up buying like more books than you originally thought you were gonna buy. But I was on a book buying ban for the first half of the year. Now it's June and it's the second half, so I guess I'm allowing myself to buy books again. I was on a book buying ban and I just recently hauled a bunch of books. I have 3 piles of different books, one being manga that I've acquired, 2 being some used books that I literally got today. Like I just came back from being out and I went to a used bookstore and I got some books. And then the second being like new books, new releases, and like books that I got from like bookstores and Barnes and Noble. Okay, I will start off with the manga just to get it out the way because it's like the quickest pile that I have. I bought volumes 6 through 10 of Nana, and oh, there's a glare. And I have the first 5, and I thrifted the first 5 through like thrift books, and for years they didn't have Nana in stock anywhere, and it was like the cheapest I saw was like 60 a piece for volume 6. It was ridiculous, but recently, like in the past year, they've reprinted Nana and I was able to acquire the next 10. So I have about like another 11 volumes to go in terms of Nana, but Nana is one of my favorite series. I watched the anime a long time ago and I read the manga via Shoujo Beat magazine. That's where Nana was originally published, I believe, was on Shoujo Beat magazine volumes. But yeah, so I got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next I have Killing Stalking volume 2. It is a manhwa and it's fully colored and everything. I just have it still in the wrap because I like to open things when I read it, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not gonna open this until I read this, and I still need to read the first volume, even though I've read most of this series via because it's a webtoon, but I stopped reading it like a while ago and I saw that they were coming out with physical volumes and I wanted to collect the physical volumes. So next I have the next 2 volumes of Fruits Basket, the collector's editions. I have 7 and 8. I have up to 6 now, so these are the next 2 in my collection. And I haven't read or caught up with Fruits Basket and I really need to. All right, lastly is Cardcaptor Sakura volume, which volume is this? 4. I have the first 3 and I'm slowly but surely collecting these because they're a little expensive. They're like $30 a piece, so I either get them when there's like a sale or just like one at a time. So I have the next volume that I needed. And yeah, those are the manga that I have acquired since, or in the past like several months. Like I said, I was on a book buying ban, but I like have been slowly but surely collecting books. The next pile of books I'm gonna show you guys are like the new releases / books that I've acquired from either an independent bookstore or a Barnes and Noble. I guess I'll show you the things that I've acquired from the independent bookstore because those are kind of exciting. So last weekend, my husband and I went to a bookstore opening in Logan Circle in DC. We were able to get like free ARCs for signing up for their newsletter since it was the grand opening, or not the grand opening, but the opening for this particular branch's bookstore. And I got a free ARC, and the ARC was Life B overcoming double depression, and you didn't know what arc you were gonna get. They just had like a label of what the genre was, so it was a psychology arc, and I'm happy with my choice. It looks really interesting. I've read a psychology memoir before and it was really interesting, so I'm hoping this will be interesting. And this came out in May, so this is fairly new. Oh, and the bookstore that we went to was Solid State Books, and they have two in DC. I forgot where the original one is, but the one that we went to is on 14th Street, if you guys were curious. To support the opening of the store, I wanted to get a book. I don't know what book, because their selection was a little bit limited because they just opened and they were still stocking shelves, but this book caught my eye and it sounded really interesting. It's The Last Werewolf by Glenn Duncan. It looks interesting. I'm not going to do a synopsis or anything. If you really want to like look it up, you can. Apparently it has to deal with werewolves, so I mean obviously in the title, but yeah, it looked interesting, so I picked it up. All right, next actually I have one book from Target, just like a random Target pickup, like as you do when you go to Target, you go to the book section and you just randomly pick up a book. But I have read a book from this author before. It is Oh Beautiful by Jung Yoon, and I've read Shelter by her, and it was good. I don't have it in my collection anymore, but I did read it and I enjoyed it when I read it, so I thought that I would give her next book a read as well. I got the Target edition, which I believe is signed. Yeah, and it's interesting because apparently Jung Yoon is a professor at George Washington University in DC, so that's pretty interesting. All right, so the next couple books, actually I only have one book that's from Barnes & Noble. Vita Nostra by, oh gosh, I'm gonna try not to butcher this author's name, Marina and Sergei Dyachenko. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but I heard that this is like really good. It's supposed to be like a dark academia. It was under the sci-fi section at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if it was like misplaced or if it really is sci-fi, but here it says fiction fantasy, so I think it's more of a fantasy, but who knows. But I'm looking forward to reading this. We went to Barnes & Noble one day and I wasn't gonna pick up anything, but then my husband saw that this was on the shelf and he was like, hey, didn't you want to read that? And I was like, yeah. And I know that it's not hard to find or come across, but I know that I would probably just have to order it off of Amazon if I really wanted it, so I picked it up instead at Barnes & Noble that one day. So the next one are books that I got from Amazon, and originally I wanted to get them from Barnes & Noble when we went to the Barnes & Noble that one day, but they didn't have them in stock, so I had to order them. Well, yeah, because I was looking for City of Bones and they only had the whole collection, and I didn't want to buy the whole collection just yet. So I have the new edition of City of Bones, and I have not read a Cassandra Clare yet, and I need to rectify that. Bradley thinks that I will really enjoy Cassandra Clare. Yeah, I picked it up and hopefully I enjoy it. It is the first book of the Mortal Instruments series. And then next I got one for my enemy, and I saw this at Target, and they actually did have this at Barnes & Noble, but they had the Barnes & Noble edition, which was like all black, but I liked the all white edition better. It sounded really interesting, and the end pages were like really cool. Like they have the two witch covens, I believe, on the end papers, so I thought that was really cool. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I actually read like the first chapter and it was like it was enthralling, and I wanted to continue reading, but I think I picked it up a different book instead. And then the last book that I got from Amazon was Yellowface. Again, another book that I wanted to pick up in person, but they didn't have it. I read Babel by R.F. Kuang. I haven't read the Poppy War series. I really enjoyed Babel, and I really enjoyed her writing, so I wanted to pick up Yellowface. It's more of a contemporary, and I haven't been in a contemporary mood lately, but when I am in a contemporary mood, I do want to pick this up. Okay, we're on the home stretch. This next pile of books are books that I got from the used bookstore. We have a used bookstore not close to us, kind of maybe like a town over or so, and it's near my work's office. Like they're within like the same compound, so whenever I'm at my office I stop by this bookstore. Most of the time it's a hit or miss. It's either you find like a whole bunch of books that day or you find like nothing at all, and today was a hit for me at least. So I want to share those books, but firstly I'm gonna have a gripe about this, but it is what it is. I guess I'll just have to, I don't know, like read them as they come or just unhaul them and buy the whole collection if I enjoy it. I don't know. But I got the second book in the Mortal Instruments series, City of Ashes, and I realized that I thought that they would match because they're the new covers, but they don't. So it's a little annoying, but it is what it is. Like if I enjoy it, then I'll just buy the whole collection at that point and just unhaul these two. But yeah, I got this from the used bookstore. It was $5, so not bad. The next is a series, or actually two of them are two series, but this series I've heard about before and I've heard like really good things about it. Not a lot of people talk about this series a lot because it's not like a super popular series, but it is a fantasy series that I've been interested in. It's The Poison Study. So they had the first book, and actually they had all the books. They have Poison Study, Magic Study, and Fire Study, and they're all used. Some of these are more used than others. I decided that if I enjoyed it, it wouldn't matter like the condition of the book, because I am reading it just to read. Like, I don't know, I have no qualms about it being super used. If I want a better edition, I'll just buy a better edition, but the purpose of me buying these are because they're used, and they were only $5, and apparently there's a deal. If you get 3, you get the whole thing for $10, which was a steal. I don't mind, so hopefully I enjoy this. And then lastly is another series. I'm kind of unfamiliar about it. I'm curious if it is on Kindle Unlimited, and the type of book it is on is giving me Kindle Unlimited, but who knows. But I got the Lore and Lust series. So Lore and Lust, and then Lore and Lust The Vanishing, book 1 and 2. I don't really know much about it. I just heard, like, I read that it was about vampires and it looked interesting, so I picked it up. It was under the YA section. I don't know if it's really YA or if it's like new adult or adult, but I picked them up and they looked interesting in the bookstore. And the first book was $8.50 and then the second book was $10.50, so I saw both and I had to snag them. That concludes my book haul. I tried to not have it be super long. I tried to just rapid fire show you all the books that I got. I'm sorry if I didn't do any synopses on these books, but if you're interested in them, definitely look them up. Look up trigger warnings if there's trigger warnings. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in another video. Bye.